Great Scott! It's another RV upgrade video today, and I'm going to get right into it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. But today we're going to go and put in a Max Air fan. It's another brand other than the Fantastic fan. So today I'm going to go ahead and install a Max Air fan, which is basically a Fantastic fan. If you got a Fantastic fan, it's a different brand. So the things you're going to need is you're going to need some die-core lap sealant, self-leveling. You need some of that. You're going to need your drill. Got my trusty Milwaukee drill here. You're also going to need some vent insulation kit. Basically it's butyl tape. Alright, you're going to need your caulking gun for your lap sealant. And you're going to need some connections if you're going to go ahead and use the same wiring that you already have. Install is going to be different on your RV than mine. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go inside. Alright, I went ahead and took our bed off. And that way it's easy to clean up if I get any debris coming down. And it's easier for me to stand while I'm taking this vent down. I'm going to eventually change all three of them out. But for right now, I'm going to do the one in the bedroom. So we're going to start off by taking this off. All right. Okay, so before I get started here, I need to find out, this is the light right here that I'm going to try to pull the 12 volt off of. Okay, just remember guys, your install might be a little bit different. So I'm going to try to pull it off this light right here to get my 12 volt connection. This is looking like this might be some 12 volt right here to that light. I'm going straight back. So I might be able to tap into this. We'll figure that out as we go along, but I wanted to take this down. Let's go ahead and get to the roof and we're going to start taking that apart. So let me go ahead and take this light down just to see what my electrical connections are from here. Yeah, it's all right. These are LEDs that I put in, so they're not hot, but they're giving me light right now. Okay, so we got a black and white, and there is the blue and white coming from over here. As I'm pulling this wire, you can see it's already fished over there. So it's going to be the blue and the white wire I could possibly tap in over there already, which is good for me. So I don't have to fish anything over here. That's definitely going to be the 12 volt wires. So I'm going to leave that hanging. Let's go on up. Okay, I got an 11mm wrench. Just to let you guys know, I'm probably going to be updating the tools that you're going to need along the way, because this is the first time I've ever doing this. I might have to add some tools along the way. One being 11mm wrench, because I have a cover on my vents. Just happens to be the same brand the vent is. So let's loosen these up on both sides. Don't get rid of them, because you're going to have to reinstall this when we're done. That way I can open my vent up if it's raining. Okay, we'll go to the other side. Put these together. Let's go to the other side. Alright, so basically this cover is sitting in die-core, so it's pretty tough right now to get off. So I got my trusty knife here, putty knife, and you're going to be real careful on your roof. Take your time, don't be in a hurry, you don't want to damage the roof at all. So I'm going to take my time and pop this off. Alright, so basically I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to work around all around the edges here with it. It's going to take me a little bit of time. Typically, I don't see these die-core down. Whoever installed this particular one, which was on here before we got the RV, basically ran die-core all the way around it, and it's sealed all the way around. So definitely no leaks there for sure. So it's going to take me a little bit of time. I'm just going to lightly go through all this, and then we'll cut back in. All right, I've been up here for about 30 minutes, and I'm lucky to have this cover over the RV, because down here in Florida the sun would just beat you all to heck if we were out there in the sun. It's still hot under here, but I want you guys to leave it down in the comments if you guys ever die-cored. Put a lot of die-core down before you put a roof vent cover on your RV. If you notice on this one over here, if Jolly can zoom in, that one's about ready to be replaced, because I'm noticing up here that it has some cracks in it. But I also want you to notice that it's got 2 screws up there. Okay, so you could basically unscrew that and clean the inside of the vent, because normally sometimes with maintenance you have to clean the inside of these vents because they get dirty, especially if you go take them through a car wash, or if you come up here like us and we wash our roof down with the pressure cleaner and all. They tend to get dirty. But if you look on this vent right here, this doesn't have any screws, no way really to take this off, and they die-cored it to the roof of the RV. At our times of having RVs, I've never seen one of these die-cored down. I was able to take the 4 nuts off, pop this open, clean the inside of them if I have to, and put it right back on and be done with it, because the die-core is on the vent itself. These are not bolted to the RV roof. So these are actually bolted with the bracket to the vent inside lip, and then they just sit up here on the roof where you just put the bolt down. So I want you to look under here real quick. I only got half this done in a half hour, and I want you to see how much die-core they put down before, and then they laid this back over top of it. It's a real pain to get off. So leave down in the comments if you've done it, and I guess reasons. So let's move on to the other side. We'll get this cover off finally, maybe another half hour or so, and we'll come back. Okay, as you can see, look how far underneath this was. And you see how dirty this inside is? You really, if you can't get in these vents, you really need to be able to take this off easily in maintenance if you have to maintenance this. Look at the top of this. And we keep the top of the roof of the RV clean and all, but look how the debris and everything gets up underneath here. When you got one of these on top, these vents, it's very difficult to take it off if you're die-cored down to get stuff like this out of there. It's unavoidable. You're going to get this type of debris under here when you can't get into here to take it. Now, I really like taking this whole thing off. Even the screw one over there, you really can't get it as good as if you take this off. And you noticed in the beginning of the video, I took off the 4 nuts in a matter of seconds. You take them off, you do your deal, you clean it up, you pop it back on. So this was like a real pain to get off. So let's move on, guys, to the next step.
Do you have to take all this off?
All this now, it's like layered after layered. You got to take your time and take the rest of this off and get to the screws under here in order to get this vent out of here. So let's get to that. We don't know if it's a bolt. We don't know if it's a bolt or a screw or one of them hex things. If it's a hex thing, I got to get down again. But if it's a screw, let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. Did I get lucky with the screw? Oh good, I got lucky. It's a screw. Okay, so go around. You're gonna have several of these. Normally you could see them, but they got so much die-core up here. I noticed where this one was, but normally you'll see like a little bump. This might be one right here, and you just go around and take all this die-core off, to be able to get to your screws. So we'll continue. All right, so we're getting to it slowly but surely. I just want to show you if Jolly can get up underneath here. how these are actually installed. For those of you that don't know how these vent covers are installed, it's typically one screw right there, and then these right here just lay on the roof. All right, and they got this kind of slides back and forth, but they got threads which you put up underneath this before you screw it in, because you won't be able to get this in. This is adjustable. When you put your vent on it, you just screw it, you know, bolt it down with the 4 nuts you have, but that's all there it is to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off too, just to get them out of my way. There's going to be 4 of them, and they're all going to look like that right there. Okay, we're slowly getting her off here, but I'm going to go ahead and take these off. And why I got you here at this particular point, I'm going to show you basically how these were installed. The roof vent covers, all they are is 4 screws. You have a nut on the back side, which I'll jolly show you right here. And these right here, these threads, before you really put this on, I got this one bent. You can see this one isn't bent. You want to put these underneath. These are adjustable, however your vent is. Then screw, then you're going to drill your hole, because these aren't self-tappers. You need to drill your hole and then put your bolt and nut on. And that's all that's holding this on here. You really don't have to die core it anything like this guy did. But I'm going to take these off so we can continue around outside. As you can see, we're getting to the screws. And we're going to continue. I'm going to take these off for now though. Okay, now we can unscrew. Alright, all the screws are out. I'm going to go ahead and gently start prying this up. After we're done with that, we'll go ahead and clean up the rest of the die core. I'll get some mineral spirits and lightly clean the rest of it up, get it as clean as possible before I put the new one on. And just to let you know, these holes might not line up to the new one. If it doesn't, when you pull it out, go ahead and die core every one of them holes, and then you're just going to have to reinstall new ones into the roof. We haven't got to that point yet, but if you run into that, that's what you're going to have to do. But make sure you run some sort of sealant inside of the old holes. Alright, so let's start prying up here, nice and easy. As you see, this blade here has an edge to it, so it's gliding across the roof. Instead of going this way where it's going to dig into the roof, I got it pointing this way. Alright, there you have it. There's the old one. Okay, we're really doing a number on our roof here. Was sparkling white at the beginning of this video, but as you can see, it's a little bit of a dirty job from your hands. We'll have to clean it up afterwards, but I want to point out something right here. This is the butyl tape. They put this down before you actually put it down, put your vent down, and then you screw into this, which helps it out. But you can see the difference between the die core and this butyl tape. And of course, here's the roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean the rest of this up really good, as best as we can, and then we'll start installing the fan. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to wire it up first before I permanently install it, and make sure that it's working before I go through all the install on it for permanent. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and start cleaning it. All right, we're going to take some mineral spirits here on a rag, and we're going to continue taking some of this Dicor off. It's not a fast process by any stretch of the imagination. Just got to take your time to let it soak in there, let it do its thing. Three hours later. All right, we're still going at it, guys, but I just wanted to let you know right around in here, you can see how cleaned up it is. Another thing I want to tell you, this putty knife that I'm using, this was brand new. It's all dirty now, but I don't really recommend using this one for what we're doing up here. If you hit it by any little bit here, this knife comes in like that. This is very, very sharp. I use this all the time. I got a couple of these, but for this particular application, I would not even recommend anything that can fold. You want something rigid, harder, any kind of putty knife. Again, you got to be very, very careful and take your time. Now, I don't know if this was like this or if it's something I could have done. Might have been possible, but right here on the roof, this is an example of what not to do. You don't want to get into your roof like that. I'm going to be fine with it because I'm going to put my butyl tape right back over, and I might even put either Dicor or more butyl tape over this than Dicor. Maybe it depends on how the vent fits up here, and I'm hoping that that takes care of that. Also over here where they had a ton of Dicor built up here, when we were pulling it, I don't know if the vent did this or if this was here already. This one might have been a possibility I did, but I don't think I did anything here because I was able to pull it off. So with after I cut into it on this side and this side, anything's possible. All I'm trying to say is be very, very careful. You don't want anything, any water damage. So, all right, so you guys can choose to do whatever you want to do. I went ahead and looked at the light, and I knew that blue was positive and white was negative. On the instructions on the fan, black is positive, white is negative. So I went ahead and tested because I had more than one white wire here, really a thick white wire right here. Wasn't sure. So I tested these out to where they were 12 volt, and I went ahead and used the quick splice connector is what I used, and I tied it in, and as you can see, we're working. We can up the speed here. Very nice fan. I think this also got a thermostat in it you could set automatically. But what we're going to do now that I know that I'm wired correctly, I'm going to go ahead for safe measure. I'm going to go ahead and put electrical tape on this. Probably cut the excess off here, and we'll finish the install. But that's all it takes to wire it. I didn't have to fish these wires to the light. These wires were already here, going probably back to the back lights underneath the bed. So I got lucky, guys. There it is. Okay, so I got the fan working right now. It's not bolted in or anything. I just wanted to check this inside piece, trim piece, and depending on how thick your roof is, you may have to cut this piece. You're going to see how much thicker that is, and then the old piece. So I'm going to have to take a measurement. I'm going to have to cut this down before I can install the inside piece. Okay, so I'm taking a measurement on the inside here, and it looks like it's going to be 4 inches. So I need to cut the other one 4 inches all the way around. And I think I'm going to use the jigsaw on it. Let's go tape it off. Okay, 4 inches. Okay, moving over here. Okay, just remember, I'm going to go around here one more time and do a measurement on this. You got to be sure before you cut it. I'm going to go ahead and run a piece of tape around it and run my jigsaw in it. How nice is that? Alright, we'll go on the outside and we'll finish up out there right where it's at. Turn it off. And we should be good to go. Now on the outside, they said you don't have to drill pilot holes in the instructions. It says just run the screws through. So let's see how that goes.
What is that? You have to tell the people.
Tell all the people it's butyl tape. I'm going to go right over the old holes. Okay. Okay, with this particular one, I've noticed how some people put on the Fantastic fan and the holes are already pre-drilled or something, but it said in the instructions not to pre-drill. It said just use the screws and go in. So I do remember some people actually using some die core and putting it in each hole or on the screw before they put it in. Now, I'm not a big fan of playing with these. Once they're in, they're in. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to run the screws in like the instructions say, and then I'll die core over top of them. Okay, so it says to cut the excess butyl tape, which we're going to do. Clean it up. Give it one more wipe down before we put die core on there. Alright, so we're doing die core, self-leveling, and you could be generous with it. Highly recommend. As you can see, it seals pretty good from when we first started. Things don't come off the roof too easy once it's down down. All right, so I'm gonna get one more tube of Dicor, and I'm gonna fill all this in right here. Right in here. I'm gonna put it just as thick as the factory did. Real quick, if you noticed, the other cover that we had on actually drilled in here. This particular one don't. It hooks onto each one of these with the counter pin. So I'm gonna have to go out and buy a cover for this, and that way I can open it all the way up and still get air if it's raining. The other type won't work. So just keep that in mind. These are different.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna add a little bit more Dicor. Okay, we're all done up here. That's going to level out a lot better than what it looks. And we're going to go inside and button it up. Okay, so we're going to make sure the wires are tucked up in. You don't want to pinch them. So let's make it nice and slow on this side. Alright, so basically I used a self-tapper first. You could pre-drill if you want. I just use one of the old self-tappers from the roof, one end, and then I'm going to put, because the screws they give you are not self-tapping. If you're going to go into metal, you're going to not be happy about it. So, don't over tighten, done. Let's go to the other side. Self-tapper. Okay, didn't need it on that side, but the other side I needed it. Yep. All right, before we wipe it down, let's just test it. And maybe I'll go into another video of exactly the operations of this. That might be another video to show you. But it looks like every time you turn it on, it automatically exhausts out. So let's hit the reverse. Slows it down. Pretty nice fan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this install of the Maxxfan for the RV. Nice upgrade. I'm glad I did it. A lot of work though. Don't think it's a 10-minute job. Till next time guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.